Hey everyone, this is Dave A. Gardner, and you're listening to The Heart of Juliet Jones fanfiction podcast. This is part 4 of Chasing a Dream, based on the vintage daily comic strip called The Heart of Juliet Jones, with characters and stories originally written by Elliot Kaplan and illustrated by Stan Drake in 1961. The fanfiction story you're hearing today is written by Dave A. Gardner. Welcome back to a story that has the potential to brighten your day with a mix of humor, drama, and a whole lot of heart. In our last episode, Eve Jones had just dropped the bomb on her family. She had entered the National Miss Teen USA pageant called the Miss Teenager Contest back in 1961, as the beauty contest winner of her hometown of Devon. Now, all that was standing between her and her dream was the approval of her loving father, whom they affectionately call Pops, and her conservative sister Julie, whose heart we all know and love as the moniker of this here podcast. Something in Eve's heart told her that there was a green light when it came to Julie and Pops' approval, but the persuasion, she knew, hinged on her own belief in the dream. Let's listen to part 4, Believing in the Dream. When a dream initially rises to the surface of your heart, it's liable to take over every aspect of your mind, your life, your heart. Such was the case with Eve's desire to become a National Miss Teenager contestant. The question was, could she really see herself in that role? The answer was an unquestionable yes. There was no stopping her now. Once Eve had broken the news to Juliet and Pops, it was like a geyser of hope gushing forth from her heart like a spring of optimism. The little town of Devon was barely a blip on the map of New England, but Eve would represent it well. Yes, 20 years ago, there was barely a water pump in town. Now look at it, swelling with pride for a contestant of their very own in a national beauty contest. It wasn't that hard, actually. 3 other girls and Eve stood together on the stage of their empty high school gymnasium. They each did a catwalk across the stage, and 2 of them tripped. And one of them chickened out at the last second. Eve was the only one who had made it all the way across the stage, still standing, still smiling, still present. The director had yawned and declared her the winner by default. Sign here, yes, very good, congratulations, that's fine. Afterwards, Eve felt on top of the world and told Shorty and Deirdre that it was her walk that had convinced the judges. Now in her mind, the confidence she gained from such a victory made her feel like she had the potential to go all the way to the top, to the moon and back. Of course, it was much more than representing her town. It was the allurement of the prize. Miss Teenager gets a trip to Europe, Eve gloated, and scads of presents, besides a contract in a movie. She was floating on cloud 9, not at all afraid to come out of the locker of her tiny town. 2, 3, 4, tell the people what she wore. Flashes of cameras and hundreds of people nodding with approval as she struts down the actual catwalk of the beauty contest in her yellow polka dot bikini, not at all afraid to come out in the open, as the song declared. Julie was quiet, her brow furrowed. Eve could feel her older sister's disapproval from across the room, like a bucket of ice dumped down her shirt. Still, Eve's smile would not fade. "Oh, Eve," the director of the film would say, "you've done such a remarkable job on your first day of shooting that we've decided to move you up from sign girl number 3 to the lead role to replace that Audrey Hepburn." And there would be strawberries in her dressing room and dozens of roses from admirers, and a word from Pops brought her back down to earth. "How many girls in this shindig, honey?" he asked from behind his newspaper on the living room couch. Eve was ecstatic that her father was beginning to show even the slightest bit of interest, much more than she could say for her sister. "I don't know exactly, Pops," Eve replied. "Perhaps hundreds, but I have a feeling in my bones this one's tailor-made for me." Thanks again for joining us, dear listeners. As a reminder, if you're interested in reading more romantic stories by author Dave A. Gardner, please be sure to check out the selection of life-changing and inspiring books listed on my website. That website address is authordaveagardner.com. That's authordaveagardner.com. You've listened to the Heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast. Until next time, dear listeners, may joy and peace be yours, and like Juliet, may love always bloom in your heart like a rose.